What's new from Apple? There's the new iPhone 16 Pro, built for Apple Intelligence. And it comes with the all-new camera control, giving you an easier way to quickly access your camera tools. The new Apple Watch Series 10 has our biggest display and our thinnest design ever. And this? It's the sound of active noise cancellation, now available on one of 2 new AirPods 4 models. So quiet. Check out all of the new products and new features at apple.com. You can even buy yourself something new. See apple.com for product availability updates. Apple Intelligence coming this fall.
This is what you do when you've just found that statement handbag on eBay and you want to build an entire wardrobe around it. You start selling to keep buying. Yep, on eBay. Over that all-black everything phase, list it and buy all the color. Feeling more vintage than ever? It's out with the new and in with the pre-loved. Next thing you know, you've refreshed your wardrobe basically without spending a dime. Yeah, eBay, the place to buy and sell new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have the tickets in your wallet first before you drive 2 hours to the big game. Seriously, you had one job. Now the closest you'll get to the 50-yard line is parking lot D. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
We get it. Distractions happen. That's why we designed the fully electric, full-sized Volvo EX90 with the latest technology to keep you and those around you safe. Its 2-sensor driver understanding system is designed to prevent distractions and help you stay focused. Reserve your Volvo EX90 today. Learn more at volvocars.com/US.
Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow us on our YouTube channel as well at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined occasionally by my football gurus, Paul and Ian. Let's get to it. Hey everybody, Mark from Rams Up here. I got Ian Martinez joining me. A quick reaction to the Rams' somewhat dreadful loss to the Arizona Cardinals, 41-10. Man, I don't know if I have been, I don't remember the last time I was this deflated and this just really concerned about the future of our team after a loss than this one here today. It was pretty bad. You probably have some things you have to say, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, just what an ass kicking. I mean, what that it's really plain and simple. What an ass kicking the Rams got handed to by the Cardinals. Now, we knew that this winning streak in Arizona would have to end someday. We weren't hoping it was going to be today because I think the Rams had not lost in the state of Arizona to the Cardinals in 9 years, 9 seasons. Crazy. I didn't realize that until after somebody had mentioned that to me. That was the streak we had going with beating the Arizona Cardinals at their home stadium. 9 straight years. And we're hoping that was not going to be the case today where that Rams winning streak out there was going to end. But to end like this, golly, man. I mean, Sean McVay said it best today, right, Mark? After the game ended and he had his post-game press conference. We couldn't tackle. And that's really what it came down to. 2 touchdowns. Pretty much every single touchdown came to missed tackles, straight up. Every big play became a big play because we couldn't tackle. And it's really that simple. The defense just was awful. I mean, what a horrendous game by the entire front seven of the Rams defense. Jared Verse got a lot of pressure, but he couldn't finish. Kobe Turner, I thought, looked awful. Braden Fisk looked awful. Bobby Brown, this is 2 games in a row where he's just straight up looked bad. I'm sorry. I mean, it's time to start Tyler Davis at this point or have that conversation amongst our fan base and amongst the coaching staff. Hopefully they realize it too. Rose, Boom, and Reeder had a fantastic game week 1. This week, terrible. And that, obviously you can say, hey, the secondary this, secondary that, but there's not many talented secondaries in the National Football League, Mark, that could hold up where there's pressure not getting home. missed sacks multiple times. I mean, it's just impossible. I don't care if prime 2020 Jalen Ramsey is back there and Aeneas Williams is back there. If they have to guard receivers 4 or 5 seconds, they're not going to be able to hold up either. So I think it all starts with the front seven, right, Mark? I mean, shoot.
Yeah, there was one play. I think Murray had 8 seconds, and we were getting pressure. Jared Verse and Byron Young were both, getting there, but not finishing. So on the one hand, yeah, and Kyler Murray is a different beast. It's just that in the past we've been able to, he has a couple of those against us every time, but for the most part, we force him into mistakes. He fumbles the ball. We take him for 14-yard sacks. Yeah. And today, I mean, we had the 1 sack by Kobe, but other than that, it was they were just playing sandlot ball back there.
Crazy. It should have been like 5-6 sacks today, and then just Braden Fisk couldn't wrap up. Jared Verse multiple times. Kobe Turner had him and couldn't get him. I mean, these are the ones that Aaron Donald would drag his ass to the ground. That superhero Hall of Fame strength. Aaron Donald would get him down off one arm, clotheslining his leg. And our defenders just couldn't do that today. But I will say this about the offense. I had mentioned to our little group chat of Rams up here. You and Mark, Paul, who will join us, I'm sure, later this week for the roundtable. Tom, who when he has some chances, he'll rejoin us soon, I assume, and who's been a big, part of this podcast network that we got going on here. And I said it. I was like, oh, we're down 2 touchdowns. This is before it got even worse. I was like, McVay's going to totally abandon the run, and it's going to be a Matthew Stafford drop back game with backups in, and we're not going to win. It's just that simple because he panics anytime we're down by multiple scores, 10 plus, I mean, definitely 14 plus. He abandons the initial game plan and says Matthew Stafford or quarterback got to throw us back in to win it. And I get that's a common thought, like, hey, how do you get yardage fast? You got to throw the ball. But you make yourself one-dimensional. And Matthew Stafford said that himself in his post-game press conference after this ass kicking. He said, well, when you have to throw it a bunch and you're down by a lot, you get one-dimensional and it's easy to predict. Right, Mark? I mean, golly. I mean, the writing's on the wall.
McVay
even when we're down.
But even early on, and I haven't looked at the film, and maybe I'm sure you will.
Yes.
McVay used to be so good at designing wide receivers open, easy catches, 10, 12 yards, 15 yards, and we just don't seem to have any of that. We're scratching and clawing for every reception, for every yard. And I don't know enough about the X's and O's for this particular game to comment on it, but it was a little concerning. And, we can talk about, we got subs coming in, we got backups along the offensive line, every team deals with that to some degree, but it just felt like this offense just did not have it together. And maybe the credit goes to the Cardinals defense, and, their coach has a defensive background. Maybe, what I'm hoping we can say about this game, and what I am going to say about it in the follow-up podcast is, you get one dumpster fire game a year. You can have one of those. And, there was a lot to like about this team last week. And it is a long season, as Mark Sanchez kept on saying. It's a marathon. As down as we may feel right now, I'm not giving up hope. Unfortunately, we play a 49er team that's coming off a loss next week. Then not a good time to catch them. But, take it a week at a time, and hopefully the Rams can steal a win next week and get the ship righted.
Yeah. And look at Mark. I mean, that is the best way to look at it, the way you're saying. But it is concerning. It is concerning. Like this, the poor just lack of just want to, right? Quote unquote want to. It was just bad, man. And I will say this about the offense, because now we've talked about the defense. Defense was just awful. There's just no way around it. Front seven was just horrible. And then in terms of the offensive line, now we have, Bo Limmer is going to be in for a while. This will hopefully be the last time we see Warren McClendon get any serious action, because, God, he was awful. Awful. Havenstein didn't look like he had his full strength and I guess weight under him, I guess you could say, because he hasn't practiced in freaking forever, had like legit full practices in a long time. And, yeah, it's just a shame. I mean, Jonah Jackson didn't look great either. Kevin Dotson. I mean, we paid all those guys good money to be able to move people and protect, and it was just not good at all. And again, Warren McClendon being, a second, third stringer guy, he was awful. And then let's just say this real quick about Cooper Kupp's injury. If he's out for any significant amount of time, the season's in doomsday scenario. I mean, I'm sorry. It just is. You cannot win close football games if you don't have difference makers at the wide receiver position. That's just the reality of this 2024 NFL we live in, the modern football. You just cannot win with not enough difference makers in the passing game. And Nakua is going to be out for, another 5-6 weeks minimum, most likely. If Kupp has to go on IR or he misses another handful of games, I mean, guys, no team in the NFL has won a playoff game being down 0-3. There's been teams that have made it, and it's only been 6 in the history of football since they've been tracking this, by the way. So things are in serious jeopardy going to this 49er game for this season to have any positive outlook. Now, I know people will argue, hey, Rams went 3-6 last season, but they didn't start 0-3, by the way. And they weren't this injured either, right, Mark? They were not this beat up. They were just not playing good football. Now, were there some people missing a game here or there? Sure, but it wasn't this bad with injuries and play. So it's not good. But with what you said earlier, that's the best we can look at it. Rally the troops and let's get ready to rock to play a good 49ers team who is going to bring it. And we got to be ready because this game was...
Well, yeah, if there's one thing that we can look forward to is not having to chase someone like Kyler Murray around. The 49ers are a team that maybe these young guys can deal with better.
True. But I will say, though, Mark, I mean, Brock Purdy is incredibly mobile. Like, he can run around and create, and that'll be a point of emphasis going forward, no doubt about it, because that doesn't end. We got him twice, right, next week, and then in our matchup later in the year. Jalen Hurts runs around. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I mean, we got tons of quarterbacks who can move and that could screw us in that. And God, man, but hey, sometimes you get your ass kicked and you gotta, like you said, just kind of ball it up and throw it away. But there was just some concerning stuff that we got to get fixed. So next week will not be any different, and it'll be here in LA with 49er fans probably taking up half the stands. It's gonna be brutal.
This is what you do when you've just found that statement handbag on eBay and you want to build an entire wardrobe around it. You start selling to keep buying. Yep, on eBay. Over that all-black everything phase? List it and buy all the color. Feeling more vintage than ever? It's out with the new and in with the pre-loved. Next thing you know, you've refreshed your wardrobe basically without spending a dime. Yeah, eBay, the place to buy and sell new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion.
We get it. Distractions happen. That's why we designed the fully electric, full-sized Volvo EX90 with the latest technology to keep you and those around you safe. Its two-sensor driver understanding system is designed to prevent distractions and help you stay focused. Reserve your Volvo EX90 today. Learn more at volvocars.com/US.
This episode is brought to you by AutoTrader. Look around. What do you see? Cars. Lots of them. And guess what? They're probably on AutoTrader. Whether you're into timeless classics or the latest trends, if you see it on the road, you can likely find it on AutoTrader. New, used, electric, and one day, maybe even flying cars. See a car? Find it on AutoTrader. Visit autotrader.com to learn more.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's, what do the coaches say? You want to burn the tape, and I probably want to burn my podcast where I previewed this game because it just went sideways, completely sideways. And it was funny though, started out nice. Blake Corum, a 41-yard return.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, here we go. And then that 3rd and 2, I thought Stafford short-armed that ball to DeMarcus. They overturned it.
Yeah.
And it was just, we just weren't on. I don't know if anybody was on our entire team, it seemed like.
Let me say this about Blake Corum. What the hell were we doing picking him in the 3rd round if he's not even going to play much in 2 games? What are we doing?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what that entails. But for him to be a part of that group who didn't play in the preseason, and we know what that means. Unless you're injured, if you're fully healthy and not playing in preseason, you're on McVay's good list to get serious playing time and contribute at, some big degree come the regular season. We got 2 games in a row. He's not getting any legit action. Pathetic of a pick if that's going to be the case for a majority of the season. Get him on the field. Let's see what he can do, because right now nothing's going well. Might as well get him out there and see what we got going. So anyway,
and he did look good when he was out there. Not sure how much weight we can put on that.
Come on. Opening kickoff, he's breaking it, getting to midfield, and then that's the only time he gets serious touches. Come on, Coach McVay. Get him the damn football. He was Michigan's all-time leading rusher, one of the best running backs in college football history in terms of stats, career accolades, all you want to talk about. I know maybe the eye test, you're like, oh, like Herschel Walker and other guys. Of course. But get him the damn football, because what we're doing right now ain't working, and we got to see what our 3rd-round pick can do. Jesus.
What would you think of McVay's press conference? I know I watched most of it.
Yeah. Pretty much said all the same things we had to say. Terrible, couldn't tackle, awful. I'm not going to, and then luckily on his end, he said, hey, I'm not going to dwell on it. Like, we have to move forward. We have to see what I can do. It starts with me. And I know that's a lot of coach talk. We've heard that from Coach McVay. But I will say this, though. I did like the fire that was building up on him as the press conference went on. Because, he had mentioned, like, man, this stings this gut in my stomach. It's terrible. I hate it. And then by the end of it, he's starting to cuss, and he's just like, I'm out. We need that. We need some people to get pissed off at this and be like, we need to get our shit together and play some good football, or at least be competitive. And I think out of all the press conferences we've seen with bad losses that shouldn't have been a loss in the previous gazillion years McVay's been our coach, I am happy to see that he was getting visibly pissed off, and that anger slowly built to the end of the press conference. He starts cussing and then he leaves, because he knows, obviously, he tries to be clean, and I respect that. But that's what we need, because if that fire isn't under him, under this coaching staff and these players' asses into this 49er game, this will be another blowout loss at home against a division rival. So that's one thing I can say positive, if there is any, is that it bothered McVay enough for him to break character, right? His normal, clean character, and to be pissed. And I think that's good. That stuff like that needs to happen for change to happen and to have a better approach. So that's my takeaway from that. But he agreed with everything we said, though, Mark. Terrible, couldn't tackle, awful. They beat us in all phases. And, shoot.
Yeah, that's pretty much how, hey, at least it was a nice, relaxing second half. No stress. We were just waiting for this game to be over.
I know.
And,
I hope Stafford can hang on, though, man. He cannot get hit this many times the rest of the season. What is that? 10 sacks in 2 games, something crazy like that. It's just, he's not going to last. He's not going to last, and shit.
Yeah. And, if they don't come out with that fire in their belly next week against the 49ers in their home opener after this performance, that'll be really alarming. And then, of course, on the other side of it, who are their starting receivers going to be? It's probably going to be DeMarco, Tyler, and Jordan Whittington, which I'm not trying to besmirch those 3 guys.
No, they could play, but
are they going to be the featured dudes? This is the perfect game to morph back into a gap scheme play action team. What were we so great at the first couple years with Coach McVay? Run the ball, play action passes. It has to morph back into that, or this team, Matthew Stafford, is going to get hurt, and the season is going to be a 100% complete loss. Rams have to run the ball, even if it's not these 5-yard chunks where we all, that's the goal to get. It's got to run the ball, play action the majority of the passing
plays, and then it has to be that way. It can no longer be this 11 personnel only 90%, 95% of the time. No, double tight ends, jumbo. I need extra linemen on the field. We need to morph into a running football team till everyone is back healthy, and a play action passing team, because Stafford won't hang on. He will not survive. This team will not score points. It just has to be that way, right, Mark? There's just no other way. It has to be the gap scheme version of the 2017 Rams. It just can't be any other way for this team to have chances to win. Straight up.
Yeah, and if he's a great offensive coach, well, we know he's a great offensive coach. He's got to do better than this. He's got to be creative. He's got to flex. He's got to change things up a little bit. And I think that's what good coaches do. You can look at the tape all you want, but if offenses are changing things up a little bit every week, hey, you might as well, after this performance, come at the 49ers with something a little bit different. Although the 49ers defense, well, they did lose today to Minnesota, which was really good news.
Well, O'Connell, former Ram, I mean, he knows how to scheme up against, a scheme that's in the same ballpark, a Shanahan West Coast scheme. So, I mean, hey, cool. That's good. I mean, they got a conference loss, but I mean, all is on the table in week 3, Mark. So we'll see what happens. But if they do this crap where they're leaving linemen one-on-one with Leonard Floyd and Bosa and Hargrave up the middle, and if they're, stuck in the mindset of like Stafford's got to save us from surveying defense and a drop back pass game, they have no chance this next week against the 49ers. As simple as that. But we'll see what happens.
And I think if there was any consideration that the Rams are fed up with the Lyric because of the situation he put them in, I think we can put that to rest. He's going to be rolling out the red carpet for a Lyric Jackson.
But I hope he's ready, though. I mean, Rob Havenstein hasn't practiced in a while, and he did not look fantastic. So I hope, they're going to get tested. We got Pro Bowl level defensive front, all pro guys going to be rushing at us. And it's, we'll see what happens. But if they want to do the crap they did today, where it's like Matthew Stafford save us all game, like drop back and survey a defense, forget it. They have no chance. They have to be the gap scheme, play action pass team and run the football. That's the only way they're going to have a chance. Because I don't expect Kupp to play either, by the way. If he's leaving the game in a walking boot, he ain't going to be ready in a week. Now, could it be a Kevin Dotson situation where he left the game against Detroit in a walking boot and then he ended up being ready enough to play? But I don't think he played well either today, but he was good enough to play. Maybe. But even with Kupp coming back, it just has to be that way. And I know I keep repeating that, but Rams Nation, you gotta push that agenda with our fellow Rams fans everywhere too. You can't
trying to be positive here, we will have 4 starting offensive linemen and Bo Limmer, Colby Parkinson, a couple experienced receivers. Kyron Williams hasn't had many holes, but I have a lot of faith in him. And Matthew Stafford, he's got to be on his game, of course, against the 49ers. And, we'll get into, what the Rams need to do otherwise, besides the things you pointed out, to beat the 49ers. But I don't think it's a lost cause. And I think the Rams defense could give the 49ers some trouble. We'll have to see. If CMC will not be playing, Jordan Mason, they're going to try to run it down her throat a bit. So, and that's what I would do if I were them.
Of course.
Based on what we've seen. So
2 weeks in a row, Bobby Brown has just not played well at all. I mean, why go away from that? So again, everybody, 6 teams since 1979 have made the playoffs after starting 0-3. A lot's on the line this week, and we hope the Rams and Coach McVay to get the guys ready to go because they need it. And I hope we have fun, positive things to talk about soon. Right, Mark? Shoot.
Yeah. We'll do a roundtable in a couple of days and talk more detail about what went wrong. Not a lot to talk about what went right. I'm going to hand out a couple of game balls, I guess.
Shoot, Mark. I mean, if you can find somebody that deserves it, kudos. But damn.
Yeah, I have 2 in mind. Nothing to get too excited about. I'll save that for my pod drop. But yeah, disappointing day. But next week's another day. Rams find a way to beat the 40. Just think positive here. The Rams could pull off I can't imagine what the point spread is going to be. It's probably going to be 7.5, 8.5, somewhere in there.
Rightfully so. It'll be huge.
Yeah, but I would not totally discount the Rams' chances of pulling off an upset. Just trying to be optimistic.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to pick the Rams to win, but because that's what I do. But well, okay, Ian. Thanks a lot for joining. I'll get this out, and we'll talk in a couple of days a little bit more. Maybe I'm interested in how Bo Limmer played again.
Yeah.
Maybe you can check in on that.
Of course,
And
I'll have our film breakdown ready to go in the next couple of days once the film is available to me, and I'll show the most impactful plays of the game as always. I'm sure many of you out there probably can have a hint on what those plays are going to be, but I'll watch the whole thing in entirety like I always do, and then I'll have my thoughts on the round table, on how everyone performed individually.
And take a look at Josh Wallace. That might be kind of fun.
Yeah.
He was one-on-one
Kobe
with
Durant.
Marvin Harrison.
I don't know if they're yanking him because of his toe thing and maybe he wasn't healthy, or maybe it's just like, hey, it's a lost cause. Why make anything worse? But we'll see. I'll look at everybody and too. Got to win next week.
Okay, man. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. Be good,
okay,
man.
Out here. All right, bye. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. People always say it's good to unwind, but that's easier said than done. The exception, Chumba Casino. They actually make it easier done than said, or at least the same. Chumba Casino is an online social casino with hundreds of casino-style games like slots and blackjack. Play for fun. Play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sign up now and collect your free welcome bonus at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.